All right. Hang on. How about now? You got sound now? Audio. Yeah? Okay. Real scratchy. Is it scratchy because I'm hitting the mic? I don't know. Well, anyway, let me go do what I was going to do with this green screen because I can. Hang on. Oh, there he is. Where's the good boy? There he is. Yeah, it's the fan. Dave's going to fix it when we get a chance. He got the fan in. I just hit the computer a few times. I don't know. But we're going to get that. We're going to get that squared away. But look at the good boy. Look at the goodest boy. Look at him. He's looking at you from beyond. He's just he's looking at all of us.
There's good boys in here.
Look at him. Look at the good dog. Oh, I thought that was a ghost, but it was just you. It's just you coming in.
Here,
What are you
trying to get my shadow?
trying to get your shadow? It's just your armpit.
Oh, look, it's the ghost of Tata.
And I'm glad you don't stink.
Bye.
All right, well, yay. Here we go. Another week. And we haven't been sucked into global thermonuclear war. So that's good. We got that going for us. What else do we have going on? We got some cool stuff going on, is what we got going on. Stupid fan is going to be fixed by next week, I think. So we got that going on. But I've got some slightly exciting news. We got, guess what? PMP. We got Poor Man's Preparing Box. Because Awesome Jason, since Smoky Mountain has put their whole subscription on pause, he just decided he was gonna buy PMP. And so the first big test is that it actually showed up. Hey there, Kevin. How you doing? We're doing Good Boy Day today. So PMP is here. It just arrived today. I have not unboxed it, but I will check it out. Probably gonna do the unboxing tonight. I unboxed BattleBox this afternoon. Video's recorded. I'll be editing so we can see it on Friday. Tomorrow, I'll post the winner of the Not a 9. Oh, look. That's so cool. Oh, so this really finally proves the color changing of this knife. Look, blue, green, blue, green. That is hilarious. Wow. Okay. Oh, part of the knife disappeared. Sorry, I'm really having fun with the green screen. Aiden. Hey, Aiden. Look at that. Remember, this has the color changing paint. Ready? Green. Green.
Where is it?
Look.
Yeah,
Right there.
no, I can't see. Oh.
That's okay. Sorry, I was too entertained by that. So tomorrow we'll get the winner of this guy. Now you guys can really see, because you couldn't see the video very well, how good the color change works on this. So we'll get that out. And then what else? I got. So you guys saw Barrel and Blade for January today. I got January and February at the exact same time. So we'll get February's box up soon. Yeah. And I think I don't know. I think that's all the boxes that are here for now. We'll get that going. But it's cool that, there are still people complaining that Jason at PMP is not getting their stuff to them. And unfortunately, all their comments get deleted right off his page. And I got to be honest, I don't know if my box showed up because he saw my name on it and my address or what, but you know what? It's here, so we'll review it. We'll see what's in it, and hopefully that is good. I am making a new, every once in a while I make the military videos. I'm making a new one probably this weekend because there's something that drives me absolutely nuts. That the media has gotten people in the habit of using the word drone way too much for things that are technically not drones. Not that the average civilian would know what a drone is anyway. A 10K. That's ambitious of you. But there's a huge difference between an actual drone and a remotely piloted vehicle. And so I'm going to put out a little video to do some military education about why. Oh, look at my shadow now. What's going on there? Oh, you know what? The wind is moving the screen behind me, and it's blowing right up behind me. That's why. So we're going to talk in that video about what an actual drone is and why, when everybody keeps using the word drone for certain things, they're morons and they piss me off. Speaking of morons and pissing me off, I just got a 30-day Facebook ban for something I put up in 2016. Who would have known? And not only something I put up in 2016, but Facebook, this is the best part. So Facebook showed me the memory, and they're like, hey, remember when you said this in 2016? Would you like to share this memory? And I was like, okay. And as soon as I did, bam, you violated community standards. You're banned for 30 days. Leonard, thank you. Look at that. Potatoes, heavenly moms. Craig, we just started. You didn't miss anything, except I said I'm sick of people using the word drone like morons inappropriately. So I'm putting out a military video to square people away on the difference between a drone and a remotely piloted vehicle. But no, they did. They tricked me. That's entrapment. That's flat out entrapment. When you pick my thing, my status from 2016 and say, hey, why don't you share this memory with people? And then as soon as I do, you put me in jail for 30 days for violating community standards. Like, what the fuck? So, yeah. So that's fun. That's fun. It's under review now. Anyway, whoever runs Facebook are just morons. Do you think NATO will get involved if Russia uses chemical or Russia's not going to use chemical or bioweapons in the Ukraine, number one. And number two, no, I don't. I think NATO is not going to have the guts to. NATO is not going to want to start a war with Russia. Oh, good. The bot just told me it's an hour. That bot thing, I got to disable that because it does not work. Hello, Craig. We got two Craigs. I don't think NATO is not going to do anything. As a matter of fact, if you guys are keeping up with the news, Poland out of the blue just said, in a very chicken shit move, mind you, okay, we're going to take our 28 MiG-29s, which, by the way, the two-seat MiG-29 is damn near useless in combat, has no radar, and like half the gas to make room for the second seat. So it's real nice to give it. I mean, I'm just saying. So they finally said, okay, they're not going to give the MiG-29s to the Ukraine. They're going to give the MiG-29s to the U.S. in exchange for F-16s or used fighters of comparable ability to the MiG-29s. And believe me, the F-16 is better than the MiG-29. And then so their offer was to fly the MiG-29s to a U.S. airbase in Germany and then let the U.S. get the planes to Ukraine. So even though Poland shares a border with Ukraine, Poland could truck them across the border or fly them across the border, let the Ukrainians fly across the border. They want to fly them the opposite direction to Germany. And the U.S. and NATO immediately said, no, we don't you put that evil on us, Ricky Bobby. And so it's hilarious because after the U.S. and everybody was pressuring NATO to help out Ukraine with fighter jets, as soon as the Polish government said, sure, we'll do it, but you guys got to be the middleman, we were like, oh no, never mind, fuck that, not giving them the jets. So long about Kerry. No, I don't think. Number one, I don't think Russia's going to use chemical and bioweapons, because number one, they're just in a saving face mode right now, and they don't want to they don't want to make things worse. They want to do what they did in Afghanistan. At this point, I think is what I'm thinking. They want to find a way to make it look like they can leave on their terms. Like, at the end of their Afghanistan stint, they just basically had one big battle, declared victory, and left. Doesn't that sound familiar? And then, they don't want to make it worse and have the world come down on them more. I don't think Putin, as narcissistic as he is, ever imagined that the world would gang up on him the way that it has. Just like Hitler never imagined anybody would give a shit about Czechoslovakia and Poland. So, Russia backed out of what? No, Russia's still in Ukraine doing everything that they are. Russia has not backed out of. Putin's not going to let them back out. What is amazing is that Russian billionaire, after we started messing with their money, put $1 million price tag on Putin's head to any Russian officer who will deliver Putin's head to him. So do I like puns? Everybody likes puns. Puns are good. Meanwhile, we're about to upgrade our F-16. This has driven me nuts for years. The most advanced F-16s in the world are flown by the United Arab Emirates Air Force. And we had to deal with them in the skies over Afghanistan. And those pilots are not good. And they had the most advanced F-16s. Like, we dreamed of a day when our F-16s could be what they're flying. They're the Block 60s, which, is neither here nor there. The Air Force today finally, well, not today, but in the last couple of weeks, finally decided and take this as comment on the F-35 or the future of the 5th gens or whatever, that they're going to upgrade all 600 something F-16s we have in the inventory to the Block 60 standard, which is actually very good. It's very, very good. I was going to show you guys something, because I found this as I was looking for pictures to put on the background. Let me share my screen. Yeah. Well, that's not going to help. I guess I'm going to have to share the entire screen here. It won't let me do what I want otherwise. There it is. Look at this. This is back in 2015 with me and my minions. The day we got to go to Eglin on our super secret squirrel briefing on F-35 capabilities and how tactical folks on the ground can work with them to best effect. And this was the day where the pilot was telling, the guy who's doing the main briefing before we got out to get in the cockpit and look around the plane and everything. And I said, so, like, really, no shit. They're not going to try to replace the A-10 with the F-35. And he goes, are you kidding? You know how much fire those things draw? You think I want to fly my $160 million stealth airplane anywhere near where the A-10 goes? It was really funny. And after our super classified lecture on the F-35, he said, so, in summary, if we ever get this plane to do what it's supposed to do, it's going to be great. But I'm going to be retired before that happens. So that was back when we called it Operation Dumpster Fire. like when the engine used to burst into flames on the ground for no apparent reason whatsoever. And you had to keep it in a fully heated hangar at 72 degrees during the winter. Otherwise, the batteries would freeze and you couldn't start the plane. Good times. Good times. But I just thought it was cool that I found that picture. I forgot. I mean, I knew that day happened, but I forgot all about it. Hello, Mr. Mexico City. How are you doing tonight? So, punfully funny. Yeah, haha, punfully funny. Half-grown puns and full-grown puns. Anyway, yeah. So, the Ukrainians, though, are holding their... I mean, Ukrainians are doing great. I don't think anybody expected that the Ukrainians were going to do as good as they're doing fighting these guys. I mean... the Russians with their 1 year term of service conscript army are, I mean, they were not as good as we all thought they were back in the 70s and 80s, and they're like probably only half as good as that now. It's it'd be scary making a tech video. Is it okay to stop? Sure, but Kevin, I'll you don't have to keep coming. I'll send them to you. I will do. I mean, if you want to come up, it's nice to see you, but I will send them to you if you want. But yeah, it's. I don't know where this is all going to go, but it's they had a Russian airborne division general was killed, in a convoy. They had the Chechen, what am I going to say? Chechen Muslim, sometimes you call him a terrorist, sometimes you call him a freedom fighter, depending on what side you're on, but he decided to come fight for Russia against Ukraine. And he was like, he was the dude who did the giant purge of in Grozny and everything. And he was killed. And well, Craig, let me do this question. Number one, it's been confirmed that their vehicles are running out of gas because they're, half the time their troops are punching holes in the gas tanks because they don't want to have anything to do with this fight. They're running out of gas because their logistics sucked. They couldn't plan proper logistics because they didn't inform anybody in the ranks of NCO and below that this invasion was actually happening. And we know that because a group of officers that were captured/surrendered told them all about it. Hey, Brian, thank you very much. Good evening to you. And they said basically that the night before, they weren't, the officers weren't even told about the invasion until the night before. And they were under orders not to tell any of their troops that it was going to happen. And their troops didn't know where they were until they were already inside the border of Ukraine. So you can't set up logistics like that, if you don't, the boys' shirt sizes. Kevin, email me or message me or whatever later. We'll talk. So their logistics sucked. I mean, there are fully confirmed reports of Russian troops sabotaging their own equipment, and not to mention, and I've said this before. I think I said this last week. In a professional standing army, it takes a year to really teach somebody how to do their job. You have basic training, you have your technical school, and then you have your on-the-job training. And in some jobs, it takes more than a year. I mean, it takes well more than a year. And that's just to learn your job. Forget about getting good at it. In Russia, when you have conscripts that are drafted, serve a year, and are done, the vast majority of those troops have no idea what they're actually doing. They know which end of the AK the bullet comes out of, and that's about it. So I doubt that they're very good at maintaining their equipment anyway. So it's just a fucking clown show. Yeah, Putin thought it would be over in 3 days. And it is just, The only thing the Russians have are they have numbers, and as we saw in World War II, the motto of the Russian army, numbers annihilate. That was their thing. They would send, against a very well trained, very well equipped and supplied German army, but when you can just send wave after human wave against that, numbers matter. Isn't the 1 year a minimum? No, it's a 1 year. It's a 1 year conscription. You have to serve 1 year. Sure, you could stay more if you want, but nobody wants to. Like when you're drafted, you're drafted because you don't want to join. That's what a conscription is. Isn't the year one? So people that are drafted into the Russian army serve for a year. Now, in the Soviet army, it was 2 years, which is a little bit better, but still. Yeah, fire. This is good too. The Ukrainians actually put out on social media. They said, Russian mothers, come get your sons. We're not going to give them back to Russia, but we're not going to give them back to the military. But any Russian mother that comes and says, you have my son, here's my son, we'll give them back. We'll give you your children. The Ukrainian PR machine is amazing in all this. Wait, dude, UN bird rolls in Roseburg, and people let me. A UN bird. Oh, the UN is a useless organization. Is the highest age for draft 26? No, you talking about here, Dominic? They'll draft you if you're in your 30s. You have to register for the draft. I can't remember. But no, it's they'll take you now for. I think that the oldest age you can go through basic training is 31 or 32. Yeah, I don't know about Russia. I don't know. I mean, but but you can be drafted when you're 18. Like that's the minimum age. And I think that they will take a recruit. I know that when I was in basic training, we had a 31-year-old with us. And we called him the platoon daddy. I think I said this last week, yeah. Platoon daddy Usry. It is really funny that they can just that they can just take whatever they find on the battlefield. No, we never, where'd that one go? We never made an agreement to support them or anything like that. Because I absolutely do not want Bosnian money. Bosnia was the worst place. I would rather go back to Afghanistan than see Bosnia again. Fuck Bosnia, fuck Kosovo, and all the Balkans in the ass with a big black rubber dick. What a shitty place. My actual first deployment in my life, like in the world before, but that was before this, was peacekeeping in the Balkans. The most miserable place. We called it hell in a cold place. That was where I first saw Russian troops, by the way. And they were all drunk all the time. All the time. All of them. They tried to trade us. They actually tried to trade their weapons and uniforms with us for different things. Anyway. Yeah. Well, Dominic, so there's when it's war, number one, there is no draft, and there hasn't been forever. And so there is no right there. You can watch any video, and whatever info they would have on it is completely untrue or or whatever, because we do not have any law that we had for draft is gone. It's been invalidated, and it is non-existent. We haven't had a draft since the 70s. I think right at the end of Vietnam, they actually got rid of the draft. We went to the all-volunteer war. But at that time also, though, you could not join the military older than a certain age. And they have increased that age that you could join the military. So, no, Sebastian, I believe, and again, listen, guys, this is me and what I'm getting talking to my bros and broettes that are still in. He wants Ukraine. He does. He wants it. It's got resources. It's got land. He thought it was going to be a lot easier. He wants it, but if he comes to terms that he can't have it, he'll try to end it in a way that looks like he's getting what he wants. And if you can get him, well, here's what I have to say about the Clinton era. Clinton was full of shit about everything all the time. And he used a lot of doublespeak language in a lot of things. We never actually had a security guarantee with Ukraine, though. We had an assistance agreement with Ukraine. And that assistance agreement never guaranteed, it was specific that we never guaranteed to fight for them or to directly provide weapons. Assistance, and of course, assistance can go in many ways. So we never said we would guarantee their security in any way, but we have a partnership, an assistance partnership, and of course, the leader that signed that is no longer in, and so as one regime comes and goes, they invalidate different things. They don't work the way we do, where they hold things as law. So, by the way, I just recently watched, Peter, I want to thank you for this, by the way. Don't want to forget that. I just watched FX's true crime story about the Clinton Lewinsky impeachment thing. And I looked it up online and to see how accurate it was. And apparently it is frighteningly accurate. And if you didn't already, look, I think we all know that the Clintons are two of the biggest, just scummy people in the world. But if you didn't know the level to which people involved in that thing were just giant scumbags, you should check that out. Wow. And you'll end up walking away from it with this, realizing how fucked east, west, and center Monica Lewinsky got by everybody. But yeah, you guys should check that out. What's with Bosnia? Bosnia sucks. Worst place to send a young man ever in their life. What's with Bosnia? The rules of engagement, under Clinton, of course, were so fucking restrictive. And hold on. They had just finished fighting a 4 or 5 year civil war. They were excellent guerrilla fighters. They were some of the best snipers in the world. And they knew that they could put a round right next to your head, but as long as they didn't actually hit you, you could not fire back because of the bullshit rules of engagement. And they would just fuck with you, with us, everybody. Everybody in the whole, peacekeeping force, every country. Because they knew that unless they actually shot somebody, the rules of engagement were always de-escalate, disengage. And it was just the stupidest thing. There was one brigade commander who got sick of it, and the Serbs had taken all of the UN trucks that were being used to provide relief, and they took hostage the UN relief workers and everything, and they went to some kind of factory, I can't remember, and they so they took all the trucks, And because the Serb army was not allowed to have trucks anymore because, you know, they were doing bad things with them. So they took all the trucks and they took the hostages. They brought them to, like, I think it was like an old cement factory or something like that. And this one commander was like, fuck it, I've had it. And they, you know, the Serbs were like, if you come in here, we'll kill these hostages, da da da. So, you know, this American brigade commander was like, okay, yeah. He trained all of his artillery on the thing. He had his aviation element surround the factory with Apaches, and he said, if you're going to kill these hostages anyway, I am going to level this fucking building with you guys in it. I have had it with your shit. You have been, you know, trying to undermine this operation since day one. Fucking dare you. My men opened fire in an hour. We've had it. Make your peace and make your choice. And you know what? Staring down hovering Apaches with like live rounds and missiles on them, those guys gave up. Release the hostages, release the trucks. And you know, the guy was like, we'll let you all walk out of here. We'll let you walk out of here. We'll all go our separate ways. Nobody wants to start a fight. Give us our damn trucks back. Give us our people back. And you go off into the hills where you came from and don't ever come back. And this American officer ended up getting, you know, of course it was the Clintons, and the Clintons hated the military anyway. And he got his pee-pee schwacked for that. But guess what? He got all the UN people back, unharmed, and all the trucks. So Ozzy was terrible. How old was I? I don't know. Pretty young. So, but the French Foreign Legion story with that bridge and the village. And guess who never got sniped at again after that? Just saying. I'm sorry, guys. We are way off the rails. We are so far off the rails. Tato. Stephen Jones, what comments? Stephen Jones, are you making comments? I have seen no comments from you up until the one where you said, what happened to my comments? Dave, we got to get together. We got to fix this fan. Stephen, have you been making comments here, or are you talking on videos? Because I don't know what you're talking about. I bought a 310 Bobcats coin, but I am not sure. Okay, David Jones. Yeah, look, I got a green screen, Dave, finally. Mr. Tato boy. Oh, look at the Tato. Look at the good boy. Ukrainian situation reminds me of a certain French emperor invading the Red Country. Yeah, it's, you know, it's always, I was reply to Dominic's question. You know what? Let me go look up, because I have not, hold on. I'm going to look for Steve's comment, because I have not, I mean, nobody's messed with comments, Steve. I haven't even been able to keep up with all of them. I didn't see anything from you, Steve. And there's no, there's no auto filter or anything. I don't think. I'm concerned. I want to go check out, I want to go see if Steve, guys, bear with me for a second. Make sure that Steve's comments are like that nothing got flagged or anything like that, okay? Sometimes YouTube sends comments to like to the questionable thing. It's stupid. This is gonna take me 1 second, but I don't want anybody getting like censored by YouTube or whatever. It happens. Like a lot of times comments, I have to go and like approve them through some stupid crap. So I'm just gonna go check. Thanks for letting me know about this, by the way, Steve. So comments held for review. No, I got nothing held for review. So I don't really know. I don't know. I'm sorry, Steve. Maybe just post it again right now and let's see what happens. Hey, Dan Brown. How are you? Good evening to you. Peter, we're just talking about Ukraine stuff, and We got some battle box in and something from PMP and barrel and blades, and I'm going to show you some G10 dyeing that I've done in a few minutes. Let you guys know I went on a pretty hot date the other night, and it was good. She's hot. I mean, I guess I'll tell you. I think whatever. Steve's comments posted in a different timeline. Oh, you know what? Maybe the other Steve variant posted on in his timeline, and we need to send some people from the TVA to go pull his comment over here. Yeah. So Dave, since Smoky Mountain suspended their subscription, Jason wanted to find something interesting, so he signed up for PMP and had it sent over, and it showed up late because I think he's still doing the pyramid scheme plan where he's paying for future boxes with these boxes, not buying stuff and then sending them out. But I haven't opened it yet, guys. I haven't opened the PMP yet, so I'll do that tonight, and we'll find out. Craig, by the way, I got a text from you that I haven't sat down for 5 minutes to answer, but regarding models, I got called. Craig, can I call you tonight? Because I know we still have some Stukas and P47 stuff, but there's something that, in light of recent events, I got my hands on, and I want to build one for you and one for me. Because I think you'll appreciate it. Not many people would, but you would. So we'll do that. Anyway, yeah. So I haven't been doing a lot of models. Like, I've been so exhausted lately. Just really tired. All right, David, I know you still have that R2 kit. I just haven't done this trade because I know it's going to get here and it's going to sit. But we'll get to it. We will get to it. I just had a guy who is so interested in buying my old Benchmade 550s, the oval hole Reptilians. Like, he really wants to get his hands on those things. So I made a deal, and it's going to be... Yeah, Craig, it actually is Ghost of Ukraine. Yeah, well, now you got it. But it's incredibly hard to get your hands on Ukrainian MiG-29 decals. But I got a guy who has some, and I happen to have the correct model kit to build the MiG-29 MU1. I happen to have two of them, and I happen to have Ukrainian markings. So anyway, I figured if anybody around here would appreciate a Ghost of Ukraine to put on the shelf, it would be you. Decals or the real thing? Well, decals, because, if I had a real MiG-29, that would be fairly awesome. But I don't have a MiG. Actually, if I had a MiG-29, I would not be all that happy because MiG-29 is not that great. Now, there are versions of the MiG-29 that is really good. India flies a MiG-29 that is very badass. And the Ukrainian MiG-29, the reason it is able to hold its own with the more advanced Russian fighters is, number one, because the Russian pilots suck. But the Ukrainian MiG-29 MU1 has upgrades from France and Israel, and some homegrown with assistance stuff. So I'm going to show you guys another picture real quick, just because it's kind of cool. And I may do a video on it, and I may not, but let me do another share screen. So this is not a classified picture or anything, but there is a place at Nellis Air Force Base that we call the Petting Zoo, and I think I've referenced it before. I know I have in model building. And there is a previously very high-level classified, but now unclassified, but you have to be able to get on the base and everything to go see it. So this was my opportunity to get around a real, actual MiG-29. Now, this is a Fulcrum A, so this is the original version. And it's not the most advanced one out there, But this is kind of the early version of what the Ghost of Ukraine, who has been confirmed to be a real guy and was shot down and may or may not still be alive. But this is what he was flying against the Ruskies. This is me with a cheesy ass smile from hell sitting in a MiG-29 cockpit. And you can see against the wall over there. So we have the opportunity to get our hands on actual, Russian, former Soviet Union weapon systems and everything. I'll just show you as we go through these. Some of these pictures are just stupid looking and embarrassing. There's my Hinderer on the MiG-29 control stick because, I thought that was cool. That missile, Craig, was an Alamo. That was the rest of the world calls it an R-27. We call it an AA-10, and that is the Alpha, the short burn radar guided missile. So other cool attractions at the petting zoo. That's a T-72. We took that home from Iraq with us. That's a friend of mine named Amanda. She's on a T-55. That is an actual Mi-24 Hind. That's me being bored, sitting in the Mi-24 Hind. There's a lot of stuff at the petting zoo. A lot of cool things and the reason we have it is so that you get the opportunity to actually, like, when you're learning about these threats and you're learning what they can do. Not that you need it, but it really helps you when you can actually physically put your hands on it and see it, and sometimes actually get inside of it, get inside the cockpit, and like when we brief, like the MiG-29, big disadvantage is that it's very inconvenient for the pilot and it's very workload intensive because it's old dials and gauges and stuff. You can actually see what that cockpit is like. I want to show you guys another picture while I'm here because this has been making me nuts too. I am so sick of everything with tracks automatically being called a tank. And I think I need to go to another folder to find this. Give me a second. I'll get there though. Or maybe I won't. Maybe I will. That's an SA-6. That's not what I'm looking for. This will not be worth it at all in the end, but it's important to me. There he is. Okay, so is that open to the public? No, it is not open to the public, Dave. You gotta get on the base and then get through a couple different things. I mean, theoretically, if you're on the base, you can get in there, but there are a couple you can't get in and on the same way you can if you're. So let me show you this because this is driving me nuts as well. A lot of things drive me nuts because I'm just a high-strung individual. So do you guys remember the whole thing, the video where they say tank runs over a car? Okay, this is the actual vehicle that they show. Now, you might not recognize it because see these box launchers over here? They are in the travel position where they fold back and down flush against the roof of the vehicle. So this is actually just an MTLB tracked carrier, actually called an armored tractor. And then this is a person sits in there. These are windows. This is not a radar. It does something else I can't talk about. But these are missiles. This is an SA-13. It's a short range. It's a very deadly system because the pilot has no idea it's there until it shoots. And so unless you get some intel, and there are different ways to correlate intel that it's there, if it locks on and gets a shot at you, very difficult to evade this system. This is a killer. I know it looks old and stupid, but if this gets the shot off the rail, it is a killer. But anyway, this is not a tank. This is a surface-to-air missile system. The reason that and I'm not defending the Russians, obviously, they're scumbags. They went after a civilian, they're scumbags. But the reason this thing tried to run over a car is because it has nothing to shoot at a car. You know what I mean? But of course, the media sees it. It's got tracks. It's a tank. No, it's not. Fucking hate the media. They don't know what they're talking about. Anyway, it's an infrared. Yeah, it's an infrared heat seeker, but it has some ways to, it has some really cool ways to use what we have against us to get a bead on the target before it, so it knows where to. It's a good system. It's a good system, and the upgraded, so the SA9, which is similar looking except it's on wheels. It's an upgraded version of that, and it has much better flare rejection capability. And how old is Aiden now? Aiden is 12 now. Yeah. So anyway, it just goes to show you, like, I'm surprised they don't call the tractors that farmers are using to tow away Russian vehicles tanks. Ukrainian tank kidnapping, taking a Russian tank without its consent. It's tank assault. But that, like I said, that's what's driving me to do this video I'm going to record about. To me, the word drone is thrown out as much as tactical. You know what I mean? It's just, it makes me crazy. It makes me crazy. Crazy, I tell you. Yeah, right. This is great. Yeah. The SA9 is a tank on wheels. In fact, they do call anything, they even call things on wheels a tank. It's got a big machine gun on top and it's got wheels. It's a tank. Is it true the Russians are sending engineers? This is I love you. Well, the problem is what the Russians need to do is they need to establish construction yards. And then what they need to do is they need to mine certain crystals so that they have the resources. And then they have to build refineries. And then they have to build barracks. It's a very complicated operation. Tito, the goodest boy. Did he actually say this? It wouldn't know. You know what? I don't even need to ask. I don't even need to ask. And now, Ilhan Omar or whatever has publicly said she's going to vote against sanctions against Russia because of the harmful effect it could have against the Russian people. It'd be nice if she cared about the American people, once or twice. But remember, 9/11 was just something that somebody did. So, all right. Yeah, Command & Conquer is a great game. Terrible first-person shooter that they made, but great game. So, now, if you're following on Instagram, I'm going to change pace here. Back to what we normally do. I've been asked about G10, dying G10, and I needed to get my legs back under me on how to do it in order to do a video on it. So I've been going through my different jades, because jade is the best. I mean, nothing dyes better than jade because it's such a light color and transparent. So I think I showed you guys this before. Oh, we can't do these because it's green. Hold on. Sorry. I have forgotten. I don't know how to turn the green screen off. There we go. Okay. So, you guys might remember I showed you this guy. And it's terrible because you can't, the light is not that great, but it's a really nice, you still see a little bit of the jade, a little bit of the opaqueness. And so it's like an actual green jade color now. Hold it over here. Okay. So I did my bad monkey, and I love the way it looks. It's just, I'm going to have to take pictures, really nice, like daylight pictures when the weather is not being an asshole. So I did this one. Then I was like, you know what? I'm going to try a little bit different with the different color combination. Now, I'm not as happy here. You guys remember the, quick channel YouTube question. How do you manage to balance work life with the channel and regular life? This is a great question. I don't. And Dave will tell you, I don't. I need to really work on balancing things. I'm a mess all the time. So I try to have a schedule. I try to keep it to a Monday, Wednesday, Friday upload. And I try to refuse to work on anything channel related while the boys are awake, which is why I do a lot of my videos like late at night, so that I'm not taking time away from them. And that's about it. And then I work, but I mean, it's really hard. It's really hard. I have the boys most of the time. And it is. Why do I love jade so much? I couldn't tell you. Green is my favorite color, and I just love the look of the jade. I don't know. Thanks, Dave. So I did this one, and you guys remember, and I brought another scale that I'm working on to remind you what it looked like. This is the minty kind of green jade that it was. It was this, and I went a little too dark on this one. And again, in real life, it looks a little bit different. And I gave a very light sanding to the raised areas to kind of show you a little bit of that color again. And I like it, but I might just have to make another set of scales like in this color, because I think it looked a little bit, I think I liked it a little bit better. So I got this one done. And then I got an opportunity to buy just the scales, the Blade HQ. They do jade. They always do the jade scale exclusive ones. And I have 3 Spydercos in that. But I was able to buy the jade scales from somebody in a Facebook group, which now I can't access anymore because I got banned for something from 2016. But, that is what it is. So this one, I'm really happy with the way this one came out, though. This is exactly what I've been looking for. And I showed you this on the Barrel and Blade video. You can still see the translucence of it, right? Alexander, thank you for stopping by. Appreciate it. See you next time. At first glance, it looks like the green from the aluminum a little bit, But then you look at it a little bit more, and you're like, wait, I can see through that. This is what I was looking for. This is it. This is it. This is it. You know what, Angry? I'll be honest. I would make a great one of those like military experts on the news, but they're never going to hire me because I was enlisted, and enlisted are disgusting, and I'm not a retired lieutenant colonel or a general. But I know more than most of them, because most of them are idiots. But anyway, so I love this. This is my favorite one. This is exactly what I was looking for. And then I figured, well, you know what? I've done this. Let's try a PM2. And then the PM2, it ended up going way too dark again. But you can still see that kind of jadeness in it. What the problem is, this looks very similar to the forest green color. And actually, like right now, I can see through it a little bit. But at first glance, there's, Spyderco does all these different blade steels in different colors. So it looks very close to the forest green G10 in M390, I think, or something like that. But this one I like too, but this is I think this is the best one. Are you talking about this one, Craig? The Benchmade 940. I love this. This one is great. I just, the 940, it's just so cool. Like, I'm looking at it with the backlight from the computer, so I can see everything through it right now. The clip isn't even really messing that up either, because the light's coming in from the top. It looks great. And this is the little baby brother to the Benchmade Contigo, the 810, which is like one of my favorite knives of all time. And then they also made the Benchmade Rift, the 950, which kind of fits right in between them, but it never really caught on as much as this. This is like one of Benchmade's flagship knives. And now you guys can kind of see it, right? With you see the metal inset liner and stuff. See? So anyway, I've been working on that. And I'll be probably not. Oh, wait, there you go. See how you can sort of see through it now? That's like I said, I'm gonna have to take a picture of them all outside in good light so you can kind of see the real colors of them. I'll put it all on Instagram. A 14-inch overall, a 14-inch overall, 19-inch custom kukri. I think a kukri. I'm going to answer this question, guys. A kukri is a great blade for certain things. As your overall survival knife, I don't. And this is my opinion. Once again, guys, my opinion only. You're probably going to find some people online that are going to say that's a great survival knife. I think it's very good, especially for your chopping kind of chores. But I think you're going to get to the finer work kind of tasks, and it's going to be a little more cumbersome than you might want. That's me. I think that I think that finer wood processing and smaller kind of works, like if you're doing bushcrafting and stuff. I don't know if kukri's the best answer. You'll be able to do it. It might not be as convenient as, say, a Scandi grind knife or even just a conventional drop point or Bowie. But definitely, I mean, you'll have some good power behind that when you need to just hack stuff down and stuff like that. How can you convince yourself to buy expensive knives? That's a great question. Listen, so we have a saying, some of us, it's called buy once, cry once. Some people buy just to collect. They buy something expensive, just like they would buy art, and they keep it and it looks fancy, and that's it. Some people buy to use, and some people buy kind of a combination of both. The thing is, and you know what? This is a great question. It reminds me of way back, when I was in Tyndall, and we had some brand new airmen. And you know what? And one of the new airmen asked me the same question. I had a hinderer, and I was talking about somebody, and I just kind of mentioned the price tag is a $450 knife. And he said, "How can you spend that on a knife? That's crazy." And I said to him, though, wait a minute. You just went out and he had one of those little Hondas with all the stuff on it. I said, how much did you just spend on your rims? And he just kind of looked at me for a minute. I said, seriously, how much did you spend on your rims? And he said, well, spent $1,500 on them. And I said, okay, how much is that per rim? And he did the math. And I was like, yeah. So to you, the titanium or aluminum or anodized, whatever, it's a good purchase because it's going to make your wheel lighter and you're going to be able to do the blah, blah, blah. That's where you find the value. That's where you spend your money. For me, the steel, the frame, the quality control. Hi, we're getting a hug. What? Oh, you got a win? Good job. Aiden just got a win in Fortnite, like the whole win, like everybody, a number one. For me, the elements of this knife, the fact that this knife is going to be a tank and last me through anything, as long as I don't throw it away and lose it, that's worth it to me. Now, I will still buy a $70 knife, a $50 knife, a $20 knife, but that's how I get myself to buy an expensive knife. I just got this one from Urban EDC Supply, and you're going to see the review. This is their Nessie. It's an exclusive to them. This is like a $300 knife. But when you look at quality of construction, you feel how it feels in your hand. You look at, but also, and then as an artistic piece, you look at the two-tone finish on the blade. You look at how it's all finished. That's, to me, worth it. And you know what? I may carry this knife. I may leave it in the collection, but I know that the sum of the parts on this, it's not going to break. I'm not going to worry about screws falling out. I'm not going to, this is going to be a knife that's going to be with me and is going to serve me long after that $50, $20, $70 knife. The blade has dulled and I don't feel like sharpening it again. Screws have fallen out. Maybe the scale cracks, So it's really, I'm sorry if I'm going overboard on this, but I want to really answer this question. There may be nothing wrong with your $70 knife, and you don't need to spend more money. If that $70 knife gets the job done for you, then that is just as good in your hands as a $300 knife is in my hands. And don't worry what everybody else gets. Get what feels good to you. But it's the same thing in with anything. With buying kitchen appliances, buying a car. PETA's coming in to say hi. You need to move him a little bit more. Hi, Peter. You seem to be flying today. Hi. Hello. You seem to be hating this. Tools, just tools in the shop. You could buy the cheaper, kind of store brand, which might work just fine for you if you're going to just use that every now and then. Or you could invest in the really good, like, full snap-on set. But if you're going to use those tools all the time, every day. So anyway, Sharpest, back to you. If you don't feel comfortable buying the really expensive knives, don't worry about it, man. And don't worry about what anybody else has. You do you. And one day a knife will come along that you look at, and whatever it is about that, you will, it'll call to you. It'll sing to you, buy me, I'm the one. You'll find the one that will kind of call to you and say, this is where I want to spend the money now. This is it. Seriously, he's using chemical weapons, or I got to check that out. Hold on. I'm going to check this. I know you've expressed your thoughts on Gerber knives, but I think I might, you know what? I'll take a look at the kettlebell. I've seen it. Let me look at news real quick. Hey, I could be totally wrong about Putin, because he's fucking crazy and I'm not a genius. Let me just look up Ukraine chemical weapons. I see Britain and US fear Russia could be setting stage for use of chemical weapons. I'm more afraid. Okay, I see a bunch of he might, but not that he has. If he had already, that would like U.S. biological weapons. Oh, this is not new though. Okay, so this is the same thing. Putin's been saying for a few days that Ukraine is trying to develop chemical weapons in U.S. labs. It's another bullshit thing. I still don't think he's going to go that far. But that's me. And I'm only a little bit crazy, and he's just flat out batshit crazy. I don't know. But we'll see. Oh, we'll see. What smaller secondary knife would you recommend to complete those tasks? Dude, any Mora. A Mora Companion or a Mora... if you want to spend a little money, the Mora Garberg, awesome. Very good. Very, very good. Whether you choose carbon steel or stainless steel. But yeah, Moras are fantastic for all that kind of outdoor stuff. Have you modded that Gerber Bally? No, I've heard that people have done that. I haven't taken the whole thing apart yet. Just to do it. Here's the thing, and from what I understand and I gather, and again, guys, this is just me talking. I could have my head completely up my ass. Putin makes decisions, but he's got these Russian billionaires pulling his strings, and they are getting sick of his shit because this has fucked with their money big time. And they don't want this. They want their yachts back. They want their private planes back. They want their investments back. They want access to their international bank accounts back. And the last thing they want is for this to escalate even more and more out of control. So while Putin is completely crazy and he is kind of a one-man show running the government, there is this level of control. Hey, Sharpest, thanks for stopping by. And I'm glad we could have that talk, and I hope you took something good away from it. Yeah, like I don't know if anybody near Putin is going to be crazy enough to try for it, but just the fact that one of those dudes publicly spoke out and put a price on his head, that's huge. That is so huge. So what's he going to do? I don't know, but he's painted himself into the world's tiniest corner right now because he is too much of an egomaniac to just come out and say, okay, this was fucked up. He's just trying to engineer the one battle where he can say, I've accomplished a goal and now I'm negotiating. Is there a reason why? No, it all comes down to the fact that they are overpriced, and I don't feel like you get a good value for what you're paying. That's what it is. It has nothing to do with the company values. It has nothing to do with moral reasons. I think that for the money you spend on Gerber, you can get more knife somewhere else. That is it. That's the whole thing. And I own plenty of Gerbers. Believe me, I got a lot of Gerbers. Some of them are pretty good. But I feel like in general, you can get more for your money from other brands. That's all. That's an interesting take on it. I don't know. I drove past a store here on 309. Not that means anything to most of you people, but it actually was a Callahan. They sold car parts. It was called Callahan. And I swear I wanted to stop in and ask them if they had a lifetime warranty and they were willing to put it on the box. And then I wanted to ask if I could stick my head up the butcher. How the kids are good, David. So if you guys, most of you don't know, Sam and me have been split for a while now. And she's doing her thing, and we are still very close. And we are very good friends, and we don't have a bone of animosity for each other in our bodies. It just kind of didn't work out. But it's, me and the boys are doing fantastic. We're doing great things. And Sam still, she spends time between staying at her mom's house, which is only like 10 minutes away, and then up in Bethlehem, which is like about an hour away. So, we're still very close. We're fortunate the way that it worked out, because a lot of people, when they, marriages kind of fall apart, they end up very hostile. So does that go for their multi-tools? Actually, great question. I really like Gerber. My very first multi-tool I ever had was a Gerber multi-tool. It does not go for their multi-tools. I should have specified that. Thanks for calling me there on that. Their multi-tools, I think, are really good. As a whole, I am on the crusade against Leatherman right now. If you're not up on that, Leatherman has done some really shady shit, stealing some designs for some holstered leather goods from some small American businesses. SOG has, I think it's called the SOG Power Play or Power Ply or something like that, which is similar to the center drive, but not exactly. But that's pretty good. But yeah, Gerber multi-tools have always been good to me. And I have 2 or 3. I still have my very first multi-tool I ever owned was issued to me by the Army back in 1997 or 8. And it has seen better days. I mean, cosmetically, it has seen better days. But I still have it. It still works. I love it, and I still use it for various things. I keep it on the workbench because it opens wider than most other multi-tools. So if I need to open a bottle of paint or something with it, it's really good. Explain the Leatherman thing. Let me look it up real quick. If I can get the details right. Leatherman scandal. Leatherman stolen design. Okay, here it is. So Leatherman stole a leather wallet, no, leather holster organizer design from. Well, let me share the screen again, guys, so I can give you a full. This is what's going on, and I just popped this up. Now this is just I don't know about this comment, but this has been like in the hashtag knife community and EDC, and some other ones on Instagram. This has been going around for a while, and this has been kind of confirmed. And there is a group of people that are kind of boycotting Leatherman. Now, I'm not going to throw away all the Leatherman multi-tools I have, and I'm not going to stop using the ones I have because I paid for them and I have them. But I'm not going to buy anything new from them for a while. So the company, I think DocP is what it's called, or whatever. Basically, the Leatherman said since this company didn't file the patent first, they lifted the design, and so Leatherman basically says, well, they didn't do anything wrong because they didn't patent it, so we can take the design. Which is not a good answer in business. It's just not. But, oh well. Under the Gerber brand. I didn't know there were, Todd, I didn't know there were Gerber ones made overseas. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, all the Leatherman multi-tools I have work great for various things. I have the Mutt, which is more of a military kind of, centric range tool. Still has multi-tool stuff. I've got the Signal, which I love for outdoors camping stuff. All right, Dave, I'll talk to you tomorrow. I've got another one. I've got two other ones. I can't think of one right now. I think I've got a Wave and something else, and I have a few. But check out the Fox Knives Karambit. See, the reason I don't carry a Karambit is because I don't have training. So, I don't study Kali. I should. I wish I did. I'm not Doug Martida. But it's, for my EDC use of Karambit, just wouldn't do me much good. It just wouldn't. So anyway, wow, we're in overtime here. I guess that bot didn't get repaired. Oh well. So anyway, that's kind of where we're at, guys, with the channel. You can expect to see like I said, the winner of this. See, now you can see green. Winner of this knife giveaway announced tomorrow. Battle Box probably on Friday. And then we've got February's Barrel and Blade. We've got PMP. Should have TAC Pack soon. And hopefully EDC Club. And anyway, Fire Service soon. And I could use a knife and tool recommendation. The Raptor trauma shears I've heard are really good, but again, that whole Leatherman issue right now, I've heard they're very good. I also know that, well, look, I'm going to be honest. All moral issues aside, the Raptor shears are really good for your use. Come on, camera. I've never owned a pair myself, but I've messed with them, and they're good. Peter, I'm going to do Carnivore Club probably this month. It's sad that Tato's not with me to eat it anymore. Why won't this thing focus? Focus. There you go. But I'll probably do one this month. And so, and then again, a new military video, which I don't do very often, but I'm going. It was requested that I do another military video, so I'm going to. And we'll just see where we go from there. After we do the giveaway on this dude, we'll get another one going. So that is that. Anyway, so wow, we went a little over the usual hour limit, but I think we had some good talks about some good things. So, cool. Would you be willing to do a review on them? If you can get, yeah, I would definitely do a review on them. I've been asked that before. It's just, they're really expensive. I say that, but here I am with I just got a $300 knife. It's just when I'm sorting what I'm going to spend money on, they're never kind of in my priority list. But yeah, if I got it, I would probably I'd review them for sure. I still carry regular trauma shears. Oh, look who joined us. One of my favorites, one of my absolute favorites. Even when I don't like the actual knife, I gotta love Monthly Knife Club because of the cool way they do business. And you know what? I will be in touch with Monthly Knife Club to see how that works. Need a weekly Russia war chat to free up the channel chat. You know what, Carrie? Maybe we need to do that. Maybe. Well, hey, good old boy, I'm glad that you're back, and you're going to be just in time for us to do the axial fixed blade, which I had in mind just for you. So anyway, guys, thanks for joining us for this week, even though we got off the rails like we always do. You know what? Sorry. Let me finish this off right. There we go. With the goodest boy back with us for one more week. You know what? There's different ways to look at the boxes. There are some subscriptions that are actually pretty good. It all depends on how you look at them. I'm actually going to do a video. I think I'll do this, and because I mention this from time to time, on the 3 different ways I look at a box when I unbox it. You know what I mean? There are 3 different ways to look at a box in terms of, is it worth it? From my point of view. And since it's already 8 o'clock now, I'm not going to go into it now, but I will tell you, Loner, from my point of view, there are some subscriptions that are actually pretty good. There are a lot that are not worth it in any of those 3 ways at all. But there are some that really are decent. And I kind of built this channel unintentionally. It didn't mean to happen that way, but my channel kind of built itself up on calling out the boxes that suck for sucking. So yeah, anyway, but you know what? I'm going to put that video out on how the 3 ways that I think boxes have different value and how you can look at it. I think it'll be an interesting video for some. There you go. And you know what? And we'll add actual dollar value too. So 4 ways. All right, guys, listen, thank you so much for joining me with our little tribute to the goodest boy who is still with us. We got little necklaces to put his ashes in for each one of us with a different thing each one of us picked on it. You'll see them soon. Anyway, thanks for joining me for another week. Maybe we'll do a weekly war chat and then a channel chat for as long as this goes on. And Todd, sorry, Craig, I'm going to text you right after this. But anyway, you guys, I appreciate you. You are the biggest, most important part of this channel. Because I wouldn't have a channel. I mean, I'd have a channel, but nobody would watch it without you guys. So thank you. Love you all. I appreciate every single one of you. You're all absolutely awesome. And I will see you again real soon.